Placentia was hot, not just in temperature, but in energy. As the sun melted into the Caribbean Sea, 11 new contestants stepped off the boat onto the dock with flip-flops, ego, and secrets packed tight in their luggage. Camaria Dakers, 27, beauty influencer from Jamaica, walked ahead in heels way too high for a dock. "I don't chase men, I attract them," she said to the camera with a wink. Damien Young, 29, Belizean fisherman with ocean blue eyes and arms carved by years at sea, strolled in barefoot, carrying his guitar and a secret only his ex-girlfriend, and maybe one of the contestants, knew. One by one, the cast entered the luxury beachfront villa, complete with infinity pool, hanging daybeds, and too many mirrors for healthy self-esteem. Then she walked in. Jasmine Tillett, the host, red wrap dress, gold hoops, a clipboard in hand, and a slow, dramatic walk that made every contestant straighten up. She smiled. "Welcome to Island Love, Season 2. I'm your host. Some of you came here for love, some came for fame, and some of you came with unfinished business." The crowd chuckled nervously. Jasmine looked at them one by one, then held up a key. "This villa will reveal everything. Your truths, your lies, and by the end of the season, only one couple will leave with the ultimate prize, real love and $10,000 USD. Gasps. Eyes widened. "But first," Jasmine added, "somebody here is already lying about their relationship status." The music swelled, Camaria dropped her sunglasses, Damien flinched, and the game began. The drinks were flowing. The villa lights glowed golden against the Belizean sky. The smell of grilled lobster drifted through the air, but all anyone could taste was tension. Camaria had claimed the best daybed by the pool and was already broadcasting to her 84,000 Instagram followers. "This villa better come with good lighting and better men," she muttered, applying lip gloss between selfies. Meanwhile, Damien was on the deck, tuning his guitar and doing his best to look mysterious. It worked. Maya Martinez, 26, a curly-haired med student from Key Calker, walked past and doubled back. "You play, or you just pose with it?" He grinned. "Both." They laughed. Easy chemistry. But behind Maya's smile was a question she hadn't voiced. Why does he look so familiar? Inside the villa, contestants were mingling with forced flirty banter and cautious curiosity. Then Jasmine appeared again, clipboard in hand and heels that dared the tile to squeak. "All right, lovers and liars," she said, clapping once. "Time for the first impressions mixer. Everyone pick a person to talk to, privately." Whispers erupted. People started pairing up like a middle school dance with tequila. Camaria locked eyes on Damien. "Let's talk, Mr. Fisherman." They moved to the fire pit, and she wasted no time. "You got secrets?" He shrugged. "Don't we all?" "You look like you do," she said, sipping her wine. "You smell like history." Damien smiled. "Maybe you just recognize regret." "Oof." Elsewhere, Maya sat with Jordan, a soft-spoken musician from Barbados. He complimented her earrings and asked about her dreams. "I want to open a clinic someday," she said, "or leave the island entirely. Depends who I'm running from." Jordan blinked. That sounded loaded. "Because it is." Then, just as the night was winding down, Jasmine reappeared holding a sealed envelope. She raised her voice. "One of you is already in a relationship, and tomorrow the villa will vote on who they think it is." Gasps, spilled drinks, and Damien? He looked nervous for the first time. The next morning, the villa woke up not to the sound of birds, but accusations whispered over breakfast burritos. Someone was lying, and the $10,000 prize, plus a shot at love, depended on sniffing them out. Jasmine's voice from the night before still echoed in everyone's head. One of you is already in a relationship. By noon, the villa had turned into a tropical version of CSI. Camaria took charge like a hurricane in heels. I say we make people confess. Ain't no way I'm losing this show to some fake lover with a backup boyfriend back home in Dangriga. Jordan looked up from his notebook. Maybe we should chill, like ask questions, not interrogate. Camaria ignored him and stalked straight to Damien, who was lounging in a hammock, sipping watermelon juice like he wasn't public enemy number one. You twitchy boat boy, she said, hands on hips. You twitchy, and your vibe is giving secret baby mama in Corazal. Spill. Damien chuckled, but his smile was tight. I'm not twitchy, he said. I'm private. Big difference. Same thing. Camaria snapped. Now blink twice if you're hiding something. Before he could respond, Maya approached, quiet, collected, but watching everything like a scientist studying bacteria. She sat beside Damien and whispered, You remember me, don't you? He blinked. Should I? I was at that medical conference in Belmopan last year, she said, with Lana. Damien froze. Maya leaned in closer. You were holding her hand. I remember because I liked your tattoo, and because Lana cried in the restroom after. Camaria's jaw dropped. You mean he had a girlfriend at a medical conference? Maya stood. More like a situationship. But that ain't none of my business yet. The villa went silent, and just then Jasmine's voice rang out from the speakers. It's time to cast your votes. One person, one guess. Who's the hidden relationship? As they all walked toward the voting table, Maya whispered to Jordan, I don't think Damien's the only liar here. The sun was brutal as the contestants gathered in the Truth Circle, a dramatic gazebo at the edge of the beach surrounded by tiki torches and one very judgmental pelican. A wooden table sat at the center, holding a locked glass box and a single golden envelope. Jasmine, always effortlessly savage in highlighter and heels, stood at the front. This morning, she said, you each submitted a vote for the person you think is secretly in a relationship. The one who got the most votes will now face the truth. Everyone held their breath. She opened the envelope with practiced flair. One person received 6 out of 11 votes, she said. A pause. Damien. The group gasped. Camaria fist-pumped. Knew it! Damien stood up slowly, eyes steady, but his jaw was tight. I'm not hiding anyone. Y'all voting with vibes, not facts. Jasmine held up her hand. Then prove it. She gestured to the glass box. Inside, a burner phone. This phone belongs to someone on this island, someone who received texts from a contact labeled Bay. Jasmine unlocked the phone and read aloud. I miss you already. Just remember, keep it low till the show ends. The villa erupted. Maya didn't cry. She stormed back into the villa, kicked off her sandals, and slammed the door to the confessional room so hard, one of the candles on the hallway table flickered out. Inside the booth, she sat down, pulled the mic toward her lips, and said, Note to self, never trust a man who plays the guitar and listens more than he talks. Back at the gazebo, the mood was split like a mango. Jordan sat alone on a bench, twisting his bracelet, the guilt heavy on his face. He didn't say a word. He didn't try to follow her. Camaria, on the other hand, was having the time of her life. Well, she said, sipping from her coconut. Looks like the choir boy sings lies too. Damien, sitting a few feet away, gave her a side eye. You gonna gloat all night? Camaria raised a brow. No, baby, I'm just observing, like a scientist in stilettos. She glanced at Maya's empty seat. You know, she's vulnerable now. And you? You got those loyal man vibes. Women love that after betrayal. Damien stood. I'm not a rebound. Camaria smirked. Oh, honey, on this island, everyone's a rebound, even the palm trees. That night, a bonfire lit up the beach. Everyone gathered around, sipping drinks and pretending the tension wasn't as thick as coconut cream. Maya finally reappeared, wearing a hoodie and no makeup. She sat quietly near the edge, until Damien walked over and offered her a roasted marshmallow. She looked at it, then at him. What's this for? For surviving day 4, he said. She hesitated, then took it. You still hiding something? She asked, half joking. He shook his head. Not anymore. I'm all yours to interrogate. And just like that, the beginning of a real spark flickered. Meanwhile, Camaria watched them from the shadows, sipping her drink, then pulled out her phone. A text to a mystery number. Jordan's out. Time to make my move. Hope the cameras catch everything. The next morning, the air was thick with tension and tropical humidity. Maya avoided Jordan. Damien was suddenly smiling more around her. And Camaria? She woke up early, curled her hair to perfection, and slipped into a lime green bikini that screamed main character energy. She had one mission, make a move that no one would forget. At breakfast, Jasmine appeared in a sea blue jumpsuit and her signature clipboard. Island lovers, she announced, it's time for your first power couple challenge. Win it, and you'll get control over tomorrow's one-on-one date schedule. Lose it, and risk being voted into the bottom 2. Eyes locked, Camaria grinned. The challenge? Tied together. Couples had to work in pairs, wrists tied, navigating an obstacle course on the beach while answering questions about each other. Trust, speed, and communication were key. Maya instantly moved toward Damien, but before she could say anything, Camaria stepped in. Partner? She asked him, smiling sweetly. Damien blinked. Maya paused. Everyone watched. After a beat, Damien nodded. Let's do it. Maya blinked, hurt, but hiding it. Jordan watched it all unfold from a hammock, looking like someone who missed his bus and the last 3 red flags. The challenge began. Camaria and Damien moved like they'd been tied together for years. She whispered answers before the host finished asking. He lifted her over the log obstacle like it was nothing. They won. Later, at the villa, Maya sat alone in a hanging chair, scrolling her phone. Jasmine joined her with 2 coconuts. You okay? She asked. Maya shrugged. This place is a pressure cooker. Yeah, Jasmine said, and sometimes the steam clears up the truth. Before Maya could answer, a boat engine roared near the dock. Everyone turned. A new contestant was stepping off the boat, tanned, confident, grinning like he owned the ocean. Surprise, he said, tossing his duffel bag on the sand. Name's Trey. Hope y'all saved room for a plot twist. Maya dropped her coconut. Camaria whispered, Lord, he fine. Damien swore under his breath, because Trey wasn't just new. He was Maya's ex-situationship. Trey stepped onto the villa deck like he owned it. White linen shirt, braided fade. That swagger Belizean women recognize and regret at the same time. Maya's mouth went dry. She hadn't seen Trey in almost a year, not since he ghosted her after 4 intense months of late-night swims, deep talks, and hot kisses in the back of his pickup. No goodbye, just silence. And now here he was, on her island, looking better than ever. Camaria whispered to Damien, "You see the way she looking at him? That's unfinished business." Damien's jaw tightened. Jasmine, watching from the upstairs balcony like a queen with a remote control for the drama, smiled. "I think we just met the plot twist." That evening, the villa gathered around the fire pit for Jasmine's announcement. "Tonight," she said, clipboard in hand, "you'll vote to eliminate one contestant. But there's a twist." "Of course there is," Camaria muttered. "Only the newest arrival is immune. Trey, you're safe." Trey winked. "Didn't plan on leaving anyway." Jasmine continued. "You each have one vote. Choose wisely. The person with the most votes will leave tonight. No ceremony, no hugs, bags packed in 5. The cast scattered like sandflies to whisper and strategize. Jordan tried to plead with Maya. "You believe me now, right? Damien's not perfect either." Maya just walked away. Camaria cozied up to Damien at the bar. "You know, we could run this villa, you and me, brains, brawn, and beauty." He raised an eyebrow. "You forgot chaos." Meanwhile, Trey pulled Maya aside to the dock. "You look good," he said. She folded her arms. "You left." "I panicked," he admitted. "But I never stopped thinking about you. And now, I want a second chance." Before Maya could answer, Jasmine called from the patio. "Voting starts now." One by one, names were dropped into the box. Whispers, side eyes, regrets. Jasmine opened the envelope. "The person leaving Island Love tonight, with 8 votes." A pause. Breath held. "Jordan." Jordan's face crumbled. No dramatic speech, just a quiet nod, a duffel bag, and the sound of the boat engine carrying him away. Trey stood beside Maya. "I guess it's just us now." But Maya's eyes were still scanning the deck, searching for Damien. The next morning came with rain. Not heavy, not loud, just a soft tropical drizzle that made the sea shimmer and the villa feel like a stage waiting for its next act. Maya sat under the palapa, wrapped in a towel, sipping bush tea. Her heart was a storm. Trey had returned, suddenly mature, seemingly changed, and saying all the right things. But she couldn't forget how he left. And then there was Damien, steady, unflashy, real, a man who saw her before she had her walls up. Her thoughts were interrupted by Camaria stomping across the deck in leopard print slippers and a silk robe, muttering under her breath. "What happened?" Maya asked. Camaria flopped into the chair next to her. "I tried to flirt with Damien last night, and you know what he said? 'You're trying too hard.'" Maya raised a brow. "Well, were you?" Camaria glared. "Of course, but still rude." They sat in silence for a beat, the sound of rain tapping palm leaves. Camaria sipped her coffee. "You like him, don't you?" Maya hesitated. Then, "I don't know." "Girl," Camaria scoffed. "You don't not know. You're just afraid one's gonna hurt you. And the other already did." Maya stared into the gray sky. Camaria wasn't wrong. Just then, Jasmine's voice crackled over the speaker system. "Island lovers, report to the pool deck, now." Minutes later, the contestants stood in their bathing suits and nerves. Jasmine arrived with an umbrella, heels still perfect, and a scroll in her hand. "This week, we're turning the pressure up," she smiled. "Welcome to the loyalty test." Groans, wide eyes, whispers. Each of you will be paired with someone you're not romantically involved with. You'll complete a series of trust-based challenges, blindfolds, dares, secrets revealed. If your actual partner gets jealous or fails to support you, your connection may be weaker than you think. Trey looked at Maya. Maya looked at Damien. Camaria looked like Christmas had come early. "Oh," she said, smiling, "let the games begin." The villa was buzzing, producers in headsets, camera crews on alert. Everyone knew the loyalty test was where couples either cracked or caught fire. Contestants lined up at the pool deck in pairs, not with their love interests, but with their opposites. Maya paired with Trey. Damien stuck with Camaria, and everyone knew this was by design. Round 1, blindfolded obstacle course. Trey guided Maya through it with calm, familiar confidence. "Left, now right. Trust me," he whispered. His voice was soft, safe, seductive. Maya stumbled once, laughed nervously, but she followed. Meanwhile, Damien watched from the sidelines, fists clenched. Camaria leaned in. "You okay, Captain?" Damien didn't answer, but his eyes didn't leave Maya once. Round 2, temptation trivia. Each pair was asked spicy personal questions. If they answered honestly, they earned points. If they lied, penalty. Camaria read her card and grinned. "Damien, would you sleep with someone here other than Maya?" He hesitated. "Answer carefully," Camaria purred. Damien cleared his throat. "No." She raised an eyebrow. "Sure about that?" He looked directly at Maya. "Very." Trey leaned over to Maya. "I could have said yes, but I didn't want to ruin your little moment." She ignored him. Round 3, the secret whisper. Each contestant whispered one private confession into their partner's ear, one they hadn't told anyone else on the island. The confession would be repeated aloud by the partner to test emotional alignment. Camaria whispered to Damien. He blinked. "Are you serious?" "Say it." Damien stepped forward and repeated, "Hooked up with a guy just to make her ex jealous at her cousin's wedding." The villa gasped. Camaria just smirked. Then it was Maya's turn. She leaned into Trey. Her whisper? "I don't know if I ever got over you, but I think I'm falling for Damien." Trey's expression dropped. When it was time to repeat, he hesitated, then lied. "She said she still has feelings for me." Jaws dropped. Maya's eyes widened. "That's not what I said," she snapped. Trey shrugged. "Maybe it's what you meant." Damien stood slowly. "Is that true?" Maya shook her head. "No, I said I'm falling for you." The moment hung in the air like a lightning bolt waiting to strike. Jasmine stepped in. "Well, that concludes the loyalty test." She looked at Trey. "You failed." Then at Maya. "But your heart passed." Damien walked over and held out his hand. Maya didn't hesitate. She took it, and for the first time since she'd arrived, she knew who she wanted. No edits, no confusion, no cameras needed. The final night arrived like a scene from a dream. Stars blinking above the villa, candles lining the beach, waves whispering secrets to the shore. Jasmine stood in a flowing black dress under a tiki arch, flanked by torches. The last 5 contestants were seated in a semicircle around a blazing fire. Tension crackled louder than the logs. "Island lovers," Jasmine began, her voice smooth as rum. "After 3 weeks of heartbreak, laughter, secrets, and storms, both emotional and tropical, you've reached the final moment." She smiled at each of them. "Tonight, one couple will be crowned the Island Love Power Pair. You'll win $10,000 and the world's eyes on your next chapter." The finalists. Maya and Damien, the slow-burn lovers who survived jealousy, truth tests, and 2 exes. Camaria and Trey, an explosive pair forged in flirtation, strategy, and dangerous chemistry. Jasmine turned to each couple. "Maya, Damien, what's next for you two?" Maya looked at Damien. He gave a small nod. We're not perfect, she said, but we're honest now. And we want to see where this goes. Off camera. Real life. Damien added, if we can survive Camaria and Trey in one villa, we can survive anything. Laughter echoed. Even Camaria cracked a smile. Jasmine turned. Camaria, Trey. Camaria crossed her legs. We came in late, hot, and unpredictable, but sometimes the most fire comes from unexpected sparks. Trey nodded. She challenges me. I like that. Then Jasmine lifted the envelope. The villa held its breath. The winners of Island Love Season 2, by viewer vote, are... A pause. A dramatic wave crash. Maya and Damien. Cheers exploded. Maya covered her face in disbelief. Damien grinned like a man who just won a jackpot and a queen. Camaria clapped slowly. I'll give you that, sis. You played it classy. Jasmine stepped forward with a symbolic conch shell trophy and a check. But remember, she said, looking at all of them, money fades, views disappear. But the truth of who you are, that's what lasts. As the credits rolled, the cast danced barefoot around the fire. Jasmine raised her coconut drink to the camera. Until next season, remember, love on this island doesn't come easy, but the best stories never do. After the camera stopped rolling, the real story began. Maya and Damien left the island with more than a prize. They left with a promise to try love without the lights, without the pressure, just the two of them. And 6 months later, they're still together, traveling, growing, healing, quietly proving that not all island romances melt with the sun. Camaria turned heartbreak into hustle, launching her own fashion brand, Chaos in Heels, and securing a podcast deal. Because love might not have crowned her, but fame sure did. Trey returned to the sea. Some say he's still chasing closure. Others say he's waiting for season 3. And Jordan, he's off social media. Living low, maybe learning that love isn't a performance, it's a process. Island love changed them all. For some, it was an escape. For others, a reckoning. But for everyone, it was unforgettable. Stay ready, because the island still has stories to tell. And next time, you might not be watching. You might be chosen. Island Love returns. Season 3. Subscribe. Turn on notifications. And never miss the next heartbreak, twist, or kiss.